There is a specific kind of modern exhaustion that comes from having too many options. We call it choice paralysis, a state where the fear of making a mistake becomes so heavy that you eventually stop moving altogether. Mira Solon lives in that stillness. At 29, she works as a restoration artist, spending her days hunched over the canvas of other people's lives. She is quiet and observant, her hands steady as she repairs the cracks in a history she didn't create. Mira is an expert at fixing the past, yet she is terrified of her own future. She believes that by staying perfectly still and never committing to a path, she can keep every possible version of her life alive. But the effort required to keep those doors open has become its own kind of prison. By refusing to pick a direction, she has isolated herself in a life of watching instead of doing. As long as Mira is occupied with restoring a 19th century landscape, she doesn't have to face the vulnerability of making her own mark. Her career is a hiding place, a way to avoid the risk of making the first permanent stroke on a blank canvas. The stagnation breaks when she receives an anonymous brass key. No address, just a note. You already belong here. She finds the location behind a desolate railway station where the key fits a lock that reveals a dark, endless hallway. This is the Museum of Unlived Lives. The curator, Elias, explains that these rooms don't hold dreams or fantasies. They contain the physical reality of the lives Mira would have led if only she said yes to an invitation or no to fear. Every hallway is a graveyard for her own indecision. It forces her to see the tangible price of a life spent waiting for the perfect moment to begin. In room 14, Mira sees herself as a mother, laughing with a daughter she'll never meet. In the next room, she's an astronaut. But the museum also shows the darker outcomes, rooms where she is homeless or where she died before her 25th birthday. Mira's paralysis is a matter of simple, flawed mathematics. Focused on avoiding tragic rooms on the left, she locked out the beautiful ones on the right. By slicing away the edges to stay safe, her life flatlines into an empty, neutral center. This is the true danger of indecision. It creates a state of purgatory where the person is never hurt, but never actually lives. Then the museum begins to change completely. The rooms containing these potential lives aren't just empty, they are collapsing. The walls are dissolving, and the memories are vanishing into thin air. The mechanism is simple. In the world outside, someone is actually making a choice. As reality moves forward along a single path, it overwrites the unmade decisions, and the alternate pathways are erased. Mira assumed she could stay in this hall forever, waiting until she felt ready to decide. But time is indifferent to her comfort. It continues to pull the future into the present, whether she participates or not. We think of indecision as a way to protect our potential, but refusing to choose is an action in itself. It is the choice to let your possibilities be deleted by the passage of time. Mira reaches the final door, room 0. It is completely empty except for a chair and a mirror, but the mirror doesn't show her face. It reflects you, the viewer, as the walls begin to fill with moving images of your own potential futures. Elias smiles as the museum crumbles around them. He explains that a life that has been lived, one that is finished and complete, has no reason to be here. The museum only exists to house the things that never happened. A real life isn't like these pristine, preserved rooms. It is chaotic, finite, and messy. It looks like a canvas being filled with aggressive, overlapping strokes, a process of creation that is often destructive, but always moving. The museum must vanish, because perfectionism is a lie. Breaking that cycle requires Mira to accept that a messy, finished life is worth more than a perfect, unlived one. When Mira wakes up, the museum and the railway station are gone. All that remains is the brass key. The key now opens a music box. Inside, there is no mechanical figure. Instead, there is a miniature painting with wet, vibrant strokes of color, a piece of art that didn't exist until this moment. Mira is no longer spending her energy repairing the work of the past. For the first time, she is the one holding the brush, ready to make a mark that cannot be undone. We spend our lives haunted by the ghosts of what if, waiting for a certainty that never comes. But the museum reminds us of a harder truth. Your next life begins the moment you decide to start painting it.